Good morning. I already got started on putting this food together this morning, but I kind of wanted to take an opportunity to share it with y'all so you can kind of see what my mornings look like. First things first, I wake up at about 5 because Zoe's usually up at about 5:30. Since she goes to sleep at 7:30, her bedtime, I get her ready at 7. This morning, I was just checking on my sourdough dough that I put together yesterday for some English muffins that I'm gonna make later today. Let me show you what I have going on. All right, so this is my starter. It's down really low because I made some sourdough dough. I used Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone, her sourdough English muffin recipe. It's super simple. I double it. So this is what it looks like doubled, because we use these for breakfast sandwiches, regular sandwiches, snacking, all sorts of stuff. And then in the mornings, I have been doing crepes because it's an easy way to get my kids to eat lots of eggs. They normally will, let me see if it's ready to flip, no. They normally don't have a problem with eating eggs, but it's just nice to get some variety, plus it tastes really good. I was using sourdough back when we lived in Texas, and our trip from Texas to Tennessee, I left my starter in our last Airbnb refrigerator. So I ended up starting over, and I think I made this starter about a week ago, or no, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And so far it's working out just great. Typically with young starters, it can take a little while to get them to be mature enough to leave in bread. I will wait at least a month or so before I start trying to make actual sourdough loaves, just because I want to make sure that I'm not setting myself up for failure. But Alexis and Dean are still sleeping. They normally don't sleep in this late, but we stayed up watching a movie together last night, all of us. And then what I'll do is they'll get up, they'll eat breakfast, we will get started on our chores. We do not do homeschool through the year, but I do have them continue with math, just a couple of problems a day. So the whole, like, if you don't use it, you lose it thing, I think that that's very true with kids. So we just stick with math through the summer, and then we'll do some reading as well. And we'll kind of just see where the day takes us. Chores and everything, and I can kind of show you all that. But that's typically how my morning goes. I'm just gonna quickly go through and pencil everything in, and then I will dive into explaining exactly how I came up with the schedule plan that I did, as well as giving you an inside look to my Anna Vance minimal planner, and the one that I chose last year as well, and why I opted for the minimal version this year. Let's do it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is give you an up-close view as far as what everything looks like, so you can see the schedule that I came up with for my kids for next year thus far. All right, so this is my plan for the next year. So what I did is I just went through all of the curriculum that we purchased, and I took a look at all of the suggested schedules, and I plugged it in, and then I went through and I filled in the additional things that I incorporated into our schooling. So Monday through Friday, we have the exact same amount of classes each day. Friday is a little bit lighter as far as the heaviness of the curriculum goes, but we'll go ahead and just dive into it. So as you can see, Monday we have Bible, math, typing, language arts, McGuffey's, handwriting, and music. Tuesday we have Bible, math, science, language arts, McGuffey's, handwriting, and music. Wednesday we have Bible, math, typing, language arts, Bible study. Now you might be wondering what the difference is between Bible and then Bible study. So Bible is going to be the curriculum from Simply Charlotte Mason that has to do with our geography as well as history and Bible all wrapped in 3. So Bible is just diving into the structure of the Bible and reading through the Bible together in conjunction with what we are learning as far as history goes. So everything lines up as far as that is concerned. Bible study is my the Who is God curriculum that I chose. So Bible study is going to be for them to dive deeper into their faith and for all of us to learn a little bit more as far as it pertains to us personally. So then on Thursday we have geography, history, math, science, language arts, Bible study, again, Bible study, handwriting, and music. And then on Fridays we have history, math, creative writing, McGuffey's, Bible study, handwriting, and music. McGuffey's are the McGuffey's Eclectic Readers. I just use those for reading out loud. So learning how to present, give a presentation, learning how to enunciate your words and speak clearly so that way the back of the class can hear you kind of thing. For anybody out there who wasn't homeschooled like myself, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say back of the class. But it is very important to me that our children know how to give a presentation. I want to show you the planner in its entirety. So the planner that I went with this year, and I'll link her website down below, it's Anna Vance. I chose the minimal style homeschool planner. I would say it's about 1 inch thick. There's no customization to this. It's just a very straightforward planner, and that's what I found myself wanting this year. Last year I got the big, customize it, do everything to it planner, and it is stunningly beautiful, but I just didn't need as much as I thought I did. So that's why I went with the minimal planner this year. So when you open it up, I'll go ahead and just turn sideways. There's a little introductory welcome to your planner page. Again, this is all handmade by a husband and wife in their home. There are 4 different tabs in here. So when you flip through it, you'll see additional just gridded spots for you to use. Try to do a better job of this. Gridded spots for you to use in order to write out notes or things that you come across as far as what you want to jot down. The first tab is annual overview. So on this tab, you can see in this section that it is a full layout as far as the year is concerned, followed by a very handy section down below where you can make notes of what's important to you, important to your family. You can jot down the dates in which you have family holidays coming up, trips that are planned, things like that. You can use this page to keep track of attendance. So if your state requires that, or if it's something that you just want to keep a track of for yourself, then you can use it to highlight the dates if anybody was out or absent, and then make a note as to why or what the situation was down below. And then on the back side of it, it continues into 2023 and 2024. So you can make this planner last quite some time if you don't make a ton of notes, which I typically don't. So on the very last page of the annual overview, as far as the compacted version of the future dates for the school years, I wrote down my school schedule in the looking ahead section. Now, as you can see, I'm really not OCD about making things look pretty in here. Whenever I try to devote some time to making my schedules look pretty, it just takes up too much of my brain power, and then I get very meticulous. What I will end up doing is typing up a schedule for the kids and putting together their binders so that way they have it in front of them. And of course, I'll make a video on that so you can see how I go about doing that as well. But on the looking ahead page, this is where I just put my first rough draft of the school schedule. When you flip past that, this page I think is pretty cool. So then in this section, you have an area where you can just kind of jot down the things that are important to you. So what you want to do this year, or changes you want to make this year, what you want to do less of, things that you will do, things that you ought to do. I am, so give yourselves words of encouragement, or I can, another section of words of encouragement. What is your family why? Verses to remember, habits to remember, and other little things that you want to jot down. Remember, it's okay to mess up. Remember, it's okay to change your schedule. Things like that for yourself. Basically, give yourself some space of grace in here is what I'm going to do for me. I will be filling this out later today, by the way. And then again, there's just more sections on the back side for you to jot down any notes if you have extra things that you want to keep in mind. This year, so you have your 12 months written out or laid out for you. So what I plan on doing with this is I'm going to put the school year months in here, and I'm going to try to pick a theme for my kids, for us, to do something fun, in accordance with what the season is like in that month, because I want to make sure that on the weekends we are having fun as a family, and we don't go out to restaurants. We don't really leave our family or our home or our property very much. So being able to go through and say, okay, this month we're going to plan on planting all of our fruit trees together, or this month we're going to explore more creative mediums for art, things like that. It also is a great thing because you can compartmentalize how you're going to, spend your funds through the school year, so that way you don't end up spending more than what you need. Instead, you can kind of plan it out, and then maybe make some notes about what worked out for you and your family. Again, just some more spaces for you to jot down notes. This next section is going to be map your years. And then in here, you can kind of see the color variation from the white to the soft blue, where you actually have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So anything in here, this might be another option for you to use your attendance. It might be an option for you to write in any doctor's visits or field trips that you want to do with your kids, things like that. As you can see, the spaces are too small to write in your school schedule, but there are other things to keep track of in here. Or maybe you write down a class that was missed during that day, so you can kind of keep track and make sure that you go back through and reschedule it or try to pick it up on the weekend. And it goes all the way through the whole school year. So you have map your years in advance. And the quality of this paper is really thick and soft. I absolutely love it. Then you have the rest of your book devoted to your weekly plans. So this, for me, is where I'm going to go in and break apart the actual lesson plans from the high-level overview of what the schedule is that I wrote out for our weekly schedule. So I'll be able to go through here and either write out the classes at the top, and then I can write Monday through Friday on the side, and if we're having that class that day, I'll fill in the lesson plans of what we'll be doing that day and just leave it blank if we don't. In the entire rest of the book, up to the very, very end, all of this is devoted to expanded weekly lesson plans. Now, the very back page is a miscellaneous tab, and all of this is just on my notebook paper. So you can go ahead and take down any additional notes. Maybe you come across some books that you like, or some movies that you want to watch, or notes to take on your kids' progress in the back. And then there's a little pocket folder right here. Okay, so that was the minimal planner. I'm not going to go too much into the one that I got last year, but I'll give you a quick flip through and you'll see just how little of it I used. Again, it has nothing to do with the quality of the book. It just has to do with me personally feeling overwhelmed with a lot of other things that I have going on. I don't do well when I have too many options as far as like planning goes. So this one is pretty thick. I would say close to 2 inches. And again, this one's only about 1 inch. This is absolutely stunning. So I customized this. I got to choose the cover that I wanted. In this one, you get to have a customized section for your kids or my pupils. You have Map Your Year, and then they actually break it down into the months themselves versus just a smaller option. And then you also have weekly plans. So I chose to have it written out just a little bit differently or laid out a little bit differently with the grids. And then you also have your records. So you can keep track of, and you can see I barely even used all the pages because that's just my style. But you can break it down further as far as that goes. And then you have little like checklists that you can keep for whatnot back here. Maybe you just have a, more intricate homeschool than I do, and this would be great for you. And then you have your notes that you can take, and then you have, this is completely something unrelated to homeschooling, but just some additional papers back here in the back. And I think there's a section for your email or whatnot, but this is the fully loaded version of the Anna Vance Homeschool Planner. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to be able to see the comparison. I know that she's not, she's not on Amazon. So she's not going to be on Amazon. She's not going to be sold at Target. Like I said before, they are a family who runs their business in their home, and there is a wait time in order to get these planners, but the quality of it and the detail and the thoughtfulness, like it just feels much better than any other planner that I've ever attempted to use. They also have companion planners and other things that you can use if you're not homeschooling your kids and you just need something to keep your life organized. I know you can use apps or you can use things that are already free on your phone, which that does come in handy, and I do use it frequently. But for me, I prefer to be away from my phone when I am with my kids, or when I'm scheduling out my school year for the kids. I like feeling the pencil in my hand and writing things out and being able to erase, and I just feel more connected to what's going on. If that's not you, totally fine. Whatever works for you is best. But that's how I plan out my school year for my kids, for homeschooling. And yeah, I just try to keep it as simple as possible and make adjustments where needed. Next, I'll go in and kind of start fiddling around with the times as far as when we're going to start school. I don't know what life holds for us next year, so I probably won't even pick times until the week before we start. But I'll link everything that I can in the section below, in the comment section below. And if there's something that you want to see me expand more on, please let me know. Again, I just want to share what I'm doing with everybody because I know I feel like it's a little bit different than what what a lot of other parents are doing as well. So thank you so much for sticking around for this video. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope that I was able to answer some questions for you or just kind of make some things a little bit more clear. If you could do us a favor here at Family Living and like this video, subscribe to our channel, and just communicate to us. We love having conversations with people. I hope you all have a blessed day, and we'll be seeing you soon. Bye.